Maybe you're a new grad or an international student or still in college and you're trying to get a software engineer internship, but we are in the middle of a recession and a hiring freeze and tech company stock values have tanked. What should you do next? Hello, my name is Chisom and I was actually once in this situation. It was my senior year of college and I had no internships on my resume. I realized I needed to get one in order to get a tech job, especially since I was an international student. So what did I do? I came up with this idea and I reached out to the head of IT and told him I can build this app for our college. At that time, I was already working as a help desk student, so I was familiar with how IT worked. He came back with a different idea and said, could you work on this instead? And this was how I got my first software engineer internship. From there, I transitioned from working at the help desk to working with our database administrator. So if you're in this situation, the first thing you should do is realize you will never have the opportunity again to do hood rat shit with your friends.
Did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff for my friend.
This is something that the founders of Twitch consistently talk about.
You're surrounded by the best people right now. You've got Emmett. You've been friends since the second grade. Can't believe it's been that long. You've got Michael, who was willing to sleep on the balcony in order to make this startup work. And you've got Kyle, who built the first version of a camera you didn't even really know was technically possible. You've got to keep going. You're almost there.
A lot of major tech companies that we love today were built post the 2008 recession. Also, with lots of tech stocks not nearly being as valuable as they once were, you don't seem completely crazy not joining a big tech company. As you leave college, you realize how amazing the experience of college was. You got to be around people who are like-minded, often had similar interests as you, in a space where you have housing and food provided, and you all live in close quarters with the same problems. None of you has a child yet, none of you has a mortgage yet, and you're still young enough that you can pull all-nighters and eat ramen. This is a golden opportunity to have fun. So do not feel bad if you do not have a tech internship, because the reality is there'll be lots of time for you to write code and slave for a big tech company. So try to figure out some
Hood rat stuff for my friend.
in the vein of creating your own internship. If there's a celebrity, a podcaster, or a local politician that you really want to work with, try and see if you can provide some value. If there's a local politician needs a far better website, build it and send a cold email to the team. If you think there is a writer that you really like that does not have a TikTok account that shows how amazing that writer's work is, do it. You have to become good at opportunity arbitrage and trying to see where you can take some opportunities from one thing and transfer it to another. This is a golden opportunity to do so. And even if it fails, therefore you have built something for someone you really admire and it just gets to exist on the internet and maybe you can independently monetize it. If you really want to work on something technical and get supervision from people who have more years of experience, an awesome way of doing so would be contributing to open source. Find a package that you really like and go to its GitHub page, and under the issues tab you could see things that you could fix. I hear you, open source can be overwhelming. An easy way of contributing to open source would be improving documentation. That way you can make the changes and see them go live. Once you made those changes, the momentum buildup will give you the courage to tackle more difficult topics. Also, don't feel any shame in not getting a software engineer internship, because the reality is every software engineer is trying to start a podcast, go camping, start a cafe, start a farm. Every one of us is trying to do something non-technical. If you work hard enough, you will have a long career in tech. So use this summer as an opportunity to do something strictly non-technical. Go work for a band that you like. If you have the money, go backpack across Europe. I live in Portugal and I consistently see young people backpacking. If you have the opportunity to spend a summer doing something non-technical, do it. Because once you start coding and you're literally staring at a screen all day, you realize how wonderful it is to have had the opportunity to do something non-technical. This could be the nuclear option, but if you're an international student especially, and you still do not have an internship and it's becoming harder for you to get a job, you might consider going to grad school. I understand that it's a very expensive option, but if you are hell-bent on staying in America, grad school might be your best option. However, don't forget that there are opportunities outside America. Yes, you will not make American money. I completely understand that. Software engineers in America are significantly paid higher than they are paid in any other part of the world. However, if you're on a H-1B visa and you lose your job, you have 60 days to find a new one. When I was in Ireland and I quit my job, I had 6 months to find a new one. I had a friend of Indian descent who was on the H-1B and he ended up leaving America because he realized that if he were to lose his job, his entire family would have that 60-day deadline. So he ended up moving from America to London. Even if you're unwilling to commit to grad school, summer is a wonderful time for you to take some summer classes and buy yourself some time during the spring and the fall semester. That way, if you do get an internship during the fall or the spring semester, you can actually take it. Lastly, use this as an opportunity to radically improve your lead code skills. Lead code. The generic coding interview tests you on anxiety management and memorization. It is not a good assessment of your skills, so you basically can get better at it. Spend the summer grinding out lead code. That way, you you can set yourself up for success in the coming semesters. I remember when I was preparing for my coding interviews and I would go to the Hesburgh Library in Notre Dame, I would go in early because I was like, I need a whiteboard. I had Lead Code Premium, so I was able to filter the questions by company. And when I did so, I would rank them based on occurrence because every company has an internal list of questions that they cycle through, and I would start solving every single one of them. I would solve it on a whiteboard, then I would solve it on a piece of paper. I would act like I was being interviewed. I went in there with the mindset that I was going to succeed one way or the other, and it ended up paying off. So if you did not get the software engineer internship that you hoped for this summer, you are completely still valid. You are very valid, and you can still have a robust and wonderful career in tech. You just need to try other things and prepare for next summer. My name is Chisom, and I will see you all next time.